Hello, you may be wondering why I'm sitting here in my sitting around clothes and not dressed up at all for this week's news time. I thought we'd take a different approach. Martin Scorsese's The Irishman releases this Thanksgiving. He's a story director with a technique many try so hard to conquer. So, this episode of News Time will take a chance with directing by going mobile. It's a one-shot episode. Follow me to posterity. No, full-on rapists. Prostitutes.
It's News Time. Delivering to you the news you didn't know about, the news you didn't care about, and the news you didn't know you cared about. With host, Chad White. Now, here's that host, Chad White.
Welcome back to News Time. I'm your host, Chad White, and this is the Irish news you didn't know about, my dear boy. That was pretty good. As I stated in the cold open, The Irishman releases on Netflix this week, the day that this episode posts, in fact, hopefully. Critical praise has been doled out, but theatrical release is close to non-existent. Netflix has had problems in the past with theatrical releases, mostly because they treat traditional theaters with such disrespect. So when they try to play ball, the industry shuns them. Now, because of the quarreling past, audiences are going to have trouble seeing Scorsese's latest epic tale of a white man doing something they shouldn't be doing the way it's meant to be seen, on the silver screen. Netflix paid a slopping $159 million to bankroll The Irishman. After talks stalled with major theaters, just a few theaters scored the movie for only 26 days. This is in contrast to the 72-day window distributors typically prefer. The streamer didn't want to go above 45 days when the option to drop the regular exclusivity number from 72 to 60 was offered by AMC and Cineplex. Days in theaters are important for award eligibility. Since the release numbers were going to be so small, independent theaters were targeted as partners. To add to that, they had to reside in top 10 markets. Just 8 screens between New York and LA got the movie, and for comparison, just 2 theaters in the Atlanta area nabbed the movie. Compare those 8 screens to the 4,000 Joker played on, and that spells disaster. Nicole Sperling of the New York Times floats a reason why the 60-day window may or may not have worked in the theater's favors. Other studios would have wanted the same treatment. Imagine your movie could make it to streaming that much faster if it didn't have the 12 extra days. Streaming and digital sales, and to some extent physical DVD and Blu-ray sales, mean the difference between making that extra $10 or $20 million. I don't know if that number's even real. But again, counterpoint, movies still make a crap ton in theaters. Joker, Avengers, non-superhero movies, they can be so popular they get re-released in theaters and make a mint twice over. Not to mention award consideration. Netflix's anti-theater treatment is going to land them in a precarious position. Sure, a lot of people have the service, but even more people go to the theater. Imagine how many people saw The Avengers and didn't have a streaming service. It's entirely possible. However, Netflix is trying to change an aging industry that's losing money year over year. All of this makes me believe there's a happy medium somewhere. Not on CBS because they got canceled. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head on over to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where I swear there's no jokes about Medium, but there's interviews with your favorite comics. You can follow us on Twitter at cpluscomedy and Instagram at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Listen to the Constitutionals podcast wherever you get your podcast. And I never saw Joker, but I imagine the ending dance, the dance on those stairs was like this. Uh-huh.